Let's dig deeper into the accommodators of autocracy. Why is it that accommodators in general are blind to the threat of losing their democracy until it's too late? Well, the general answer that scholars see is that accommodators tend not to give sufficient weight to the lessons learned from history. But let's dig deeper into our own situation here in the United States. Why are accommodators blind to what's at stake in this autocratic attempt? I'd cite two factors. The accommodators of autocracy tend to be outstanding citizens, wonderful neighbors, the kind of people you want to hang out with, you want to tailgate with, break bread with, and perhaps already do. They are highly intelligent and successful in just about everything they do. They tend to be upper middle class or perhaps even lower upper class, and therefore see themselves as insulated from most calamities. And indeed, in the current crisis, most accommodators are white males about my age. And for many of them, the only thing they fear in life is higher taxes. We were born at a time after World War II when America's enemies were vanquished and our allies' economies were shattered, and no one could match America's industrial might. And we middle class males learned at a very early age the formula for success in life. Go to college, start a business career, or become a professional such as an engineer, an architect, a lawyer, a financial wizard, or even a physician. Invest 10% of your earnings very early in life for at least a couple of decades. Live frugally, and by the time you reach retirement age, you'll be a millionaire. It was like magic. It seemed like a law of nature. Indeed, you could even express it as the rule of 72, and you could graph it, as I did, as an exponentially increasing accumulation of capital. You could count on it. Indeed, capitalism was for us like a religion, and we had more faith in it than just about anything that preacher would say on Sunday. We were taught, and we believed, that the markets function almost like a law of nature. And as long as capitalism's invisible hand was free to do its work and we hustled our butts off, well, we knew that we could count on prospering. And not only that, for us, capitalism and democracy were intertwined. If we stayed out of the way of that invisible hand, if we let the markets reign, then we could also count not only on our prospering, but that of the republic that we love so much. And we were taught that that's true for every American, as long as they hustle. The future is assured. Indeed, the future for us was just a more comfortable and affluent version of the present. We lived in the present, knowing the future would take care of itself. And here's where the blindness comes in. When you believe that the future consists of simply a more comfortable and affluent version of the present, then history's lessons don't seem to apply to us. Why study the lessons of how others lost their democracies when we can assure our future simply by being hard workers and savvy investors in the present? History is interesting, but not really relevant to us. So for many of my generation, history was something that we knew, but didn't see as particularly relevant. We lived in a different era. We lived in a different place. History was about someone else long time ago or in a vastly different place. We live in the present where the future is assured because capitalism, and particularly America's exceptional form of it, would assure our flourishing as long as we followed the rules, walked the straight and narrow path, and worked our tails off. But there's a second, more pragmatic reason for our blindness, our lack of knowledge or interest in the history of lost democracies. We were too busy. Most of us are professionals or business leaders. We spent decades of our lives mastering the skills necessary for us to excel at whatever we do, to become the top of our game, to flourish as we were called to do. And when we weren't doing that, we were coaching your little league teams, going to your recitals, fishing and hunting with friends, going to church on Sundays. And when we were done with all that, there really wasn't much time to reflect on the history of lost democracies that didn't seem to apply to us anyway. And yet today, the United States and other Western nations like France and Germany, Hungary, Poland are under attack. An effort to install a Putinist franchise to displace our democracy with expanded kleptocracy. And those of us who would stop it if we recognized it are blind to it. So, Gen X, Millennial, and Gen Z voters, it's up to you to defend our republic against this autocratic attempt. Too many males my age have political astigmatisms that blind us to the threat. Too many males my age think short-term policies matter more than character. Too many males my age think that America is too exceptional to be vulnerable to kleptocrats. Too many people my age either don't know or don't see as relevant the histories of strong men so weak they pillaged the people they were called to serve. So for you younger generations, this is your time to stand for good. This is the time to define yourself as one of the great generations who carried on this grand American experiment bequeathed to us. This is your time to lead the resistance. Dare to stand up now for the American character and the blessings that God bestows upon all Americans through your generation will be celebrated by you, by your grandchildren, and by your grandchildren's grandchildren. Thanks be to God.